Good morning, Derek. Good morning, nerds. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day. Good morning, Wazzy and JW. Good morning, you guys and gals. Good morning. There's Carnivorous. Good morning, Carney. Good morning, everybody. There we go. Good morning. J.W. Owen, wouldn't that be nice? But would it? Wouldn't that be nice? But would it? If you want $1 billion, yes, Vegas, much, much, much better. Thank you for asking. Still coffee, still lungy, but my headache is what it was killing me. If you want $1 billion off the lotto, the lottery, would you still show up at tea? Would you still come to tea in the morning? Let's just buy YouTube. We should just buy YouTube. Right? Just buy one of these channels. Buy IG. Mark would fly here. Carnivorous would say, take me live, Pops. We haven't done a live in a while because nobody's volunteered. We haven't had any volunteers. We like to do Wednesday mornings with a little bit of notice. Wednesdays at 9:30, but I haven't had any volunteers. So I'll take a volunteer for next Wednesday. Isn't that Thanksgiving? I mean, Christmas Eve? I think so. Is next Wednesday? Yep, next Wednesday, Christmas Eve. HB, you're volunteering? Consider it done. HB, next Wednesday, Christmas Eve. Next Wednesday, Christmas Eve, 9:30. Sound good? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, or the peace sign, that works too. Next Wednesday. That'll work, right, Sammy? We liked it last time he co-hosted. Good morning, Kitty Catzilla. Good morning. Jesus Christ, that sounds... There'll be a long Christmas night and New Year's. In some cases, that's a good thing. I'm sorry to hear that, though. Good morning, everybody. If you lived in the United States, you wouldn't be alone. I can tell you that. We'd find somebody to come hang out with you. Promise. Good morning, Sarah Bear. Good morning. Did I see somebody said good morning to Carrie? Where's Carrie? I don't see. There's Carrie. Good morning, Carrie. I see you. Good morning. Good morning, Queenie. Good morning, everybody. 29 people, 15 likes. I don't know about your math, but that sounds like it's right around 50% on the likes. Somebody's thumb a little sleepy this morning? Who has a sleepy thumb? You can admit it. Just, you don't even have to say it out loud. Just hit the like button. Or double tap your screen. I heard double tapping the screen works too. HB, thank you for not forgetting. Polini, you must be harvesting. Or you're bagging stuff up this morning. The old sticky thumb. I got blisters on my fingers. Good morning, you guys. Well, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Freddie, I got volunteered to work the homeless shelter for Christmas. You got volunteered. Okay. All right. Well, you're going to be there. That's the key. That's the key. Oh, Pliny. Rolling one up. He's rolling a Snoop Cig. For for Christmas Eve, I think we're going to do what Freddie's doing. We're going to try to find some place that'll take a volunteer like Pops. I'll empty the trash cans. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, why is it for women only, Jesus? Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Let's start off this morning. Here we go. I know Christmas is only 8 days away. Isn't that crazy? Good morning, everybody. Secret Santa. We will be doing a Secret Santa this year. But don't worry, don't get carried away. We're not going to exchange gifts until the week after Christmas. Okay? We're not going to send anything to anybody till the week after Christmas. It's a $10 cap. $10 is the most you can spend. And we encourage regifting. I hate to admit it, but once in a while we receive something on Christmas. We're like, this is really thoughtful. I really appreciate it that my friend sent this to me or dropped it off, but I'll never use it. It's not my type thing. Regift. Regifting. So keep that thing in our circulation. You may not be the right person for it, but maybe your Secret Santa receiver would like it. So that's why we wait till after Christmas, Nerdy. And plus there's sales. But we're only spending $10, so we're not really looking for the big sales. I knew a family growing up. They always had their Christmas 1 week later than Christmas, right before New Year's. Always. You could ask little Susie, what did you get for Christmas? She goes, well, we haven't had Christmas yet. We have Christmas the day before New Year's. And I never could, for a while I didn't get it. And then I realized her parents are pretty smart about their shopping. They're like, there's going to be a lot of after Christmas sales. We can do more for our kids if we just train them up front that their Christmas is on a delay. So it's a good and bad, right? Poor kid doesn't get to celebrate Christmas when everybody else does. But by the same token, they'll probably get more for Christmas. What do you guys think? Was that a good parenting move? Is that a good parenting move? Derek Anderson, that's terrible. You don't do Valentine's the day after. Or the week after, so you get cheaper candy. You're out of line. Jesus Christ, and you thought about that one. All you have to do is retrain your kids. Derek, that'll work for Valentine. Try it on Valentine's with the girl you love. See what happens. Okay? See what happens. Any of you guys ever made the Valentine mistake? Where you either forgot Valentine's, which is impossible, or it just wasn't good enough what was in the package. Has that ever happened to any of you? It just wasn't good enough. It didn't cover it. Girls out there, has anybody ever been disappointed by the guy they like on Valentine's? Has anybody ever been disappointed? We'll talk about that when we come closer to Valentine's. Derek started it. Okay, Sparky's been very disappointed. Why don't the guys get something for Valentine's? Where's our stuff? Where's our Valentine's Day? My ex would tell me, your Valentine's Day is the Super Bowl. I was like, what's the big deal with Valentine's Day? She turned around and she said to me, what's the big deal with Super Bowl? I'm like, what? She goes, Valentine's Day is like a woman's Super Bowl. We look forward to it all year long, and we know we're going to have just the greatest day. Don't let me down. A couple of rando factos, and then we'll get started. Couple of rando factors. No. Let me go back. Sorry. Secret Santa. Niffy, will you please take the names for Secret Santa? Niffy, will you keep the list and I'll come to you next week for the list? Who is Niffy even here this morning? The Ulta store is your Home Depot. That's funny, Sarah Bear. I get that. Is Niffy here? I'm signing her up. Thank you, Jack Lanterns. Is Niffy here? Niffy's done it for the last 2 years for us, you guys. She's done a great job, right? She gets all the names and then she tells us who our Secret Santa partner is. She assigns the Secret Santa to us. She's there, okay. Go ahead, Buster, you got me last year? And you still have the gift? Give it up! Give it to me! Oh, all messages, you're right. There it is. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I didn't have it on all messages. Good job. Nippy, there you are, sweetie. I see you now. You're saying good morning to Laura. Nippy, give me a thumbs up saying you can be the secretary this year. Give me a thumbs up, sweets. You can be the secretary this year again. Yes? She says absolutely. Thank you, Niff. As usual. You're a doll. Don't tell my sisters I said that. Secretary of Christmas. I love it. I love it. Okay, get your name in. Niffy, put my name down. Niffy, put my name down. You guys get your name into Niffy. We want to see a good 20 or 30 people on the list. Okay? Niffy's okay with it. At least you're not in. I don't get in trouble. Thank you. We're putting Joe on the bad list? Not yet. Not yet. Let's give Joe a chance to redeem himself. Okay? Get your name to, your name and address to Niffy by Christmas. So you still have another 7 days. Okay? But you have to get a hold of her. You could either... Niffy, what's the best way to get a hold of you? We have the IG page, chat group. What's the best way to get a hold of me? I'm on IG, or Pops can give you my email. There you go. If you want Niffy's email, write to Pops. And I'll give you her email. You send her an email. All it has to have on it is your name and an address. And that means your name's going to be given to somebody else, and somebody else is going to get your name and address. And you're going to send them something worth less than $10 or a regift in the week after Christmas. Up to 2 weeks after Christmas. Okay? Sound good? We'll remind you every day this week. Good morning, Jacqueline. Okay. Jesus can be on the list too, by the way. Only if he's willing to send something, though. Jesus, you have to decide. I still was waiting for your email, Jesus, so I could send you whatever that card was that you were asking for. I've been waiting for your address, for your email. And you know how to give it to me. I'm at the Detroit Mush Lab at gmail.com. Okay, can you send mushrooms or mushroom stuff? Absolutely, baby. 100%. You can send mushrooms or mushroom stuff. Okay? Jesus Christ, has he been scamming Pops this whole time? I don't know. Jesus, I'm being serious though. If you want... Pops really feels like he should be sending you something. You've been here for years and you've never been able to win because of the Continental Distenso. Heroin is less dangerous when smoked or snorted. Is that true? Heroin is less dangerous when smoked. That's what I'm going to do, is send him a Google Play card, but I need his address. Heroin is less dangerous when smoked or snorted. Is that true? We have some yeses and some nos. Forley thinks he doesn't even live in Australia. That's funny. That's really funny. He lives in Arkansas. Heroin is deadly no matter what way you ingest it into your body. It's equally bad all the way around. Okay? Heroin users become addicted instantly after using the drug. Boom. You did it, you're addicted. Is that true? Insto addicto. True or false? Insto addicto. Is that true? No, it's not. You have to try to get addicted on heroin. You have to make a decision. Not really. Heroin takes months or even longer of continual use to get addicted to the drug. I've done it twice. Smoked it back when I was younger than 30. I've told the story before. I was at the house was virtually a shooting gallery. That's all everybody was doing there was drugs, 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 drugs. So I brought a shipment of my white stuff over there, and there was a bunch of people sitting around doing the horse. Look at Pops knowing all the slang. Ooh wee. They were doing horse, man. And somebody talked me into it. What are you guys smoking on aluminum foil with a straw? Chasing the smoke with a straw and inhaling it. Oh, well, that's black tar heroin. Would you like to try it? Yeah, I guess so. The house had a balcony out back. A balcony that ran the length of the house. Chasing the dragon 4-leaf. I go out. I take boom, 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 boom. It didn't take 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Straight over to the balcony and over the balcony and blah. I remember the people telling me, don't worry about it. That always happens the first 2 or 3 times. After that, you'll get used to it. And I thought to myself, I don't want to get used to it. This is one I don't want to get used to. Somehow or another, I was talked into doing it one more time at a later date. Same thing. Throw up everywhere. That was it. I said, I don't need to take a drug to throw up. No, thank you. Thank goodness it worked like that. Thank goodness. Opium did that to you, nerdy? Cleaning's like, if it ain't right the first time, I'm done. HB, the universe definitely had my back, because with my addictive personality, I would have died with my saving grace is I'm fearful, deathly fearful of needles. Definitely fearful of needles. I don't want to go near a needle, so anything inside, I'm not that interested in unless I'm shooting it into some grain spawn. But I can't do needles. I'm scared of needles. That's silly too, because I'll go to the doctors. They're going to give me a shot, and oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world. I have to look the other way. Everything, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh God, I can't stand. Can you give it to me in a pill? Just about that time, the nurse says, you're done, sir. What? So it's all something I build up in my head. It's all something I build up in my head. Total baby over here too, nerdy. Total baby. Beer and wine don't get you as drunk as mixed drinks. Jesse, you're on my team. No needle, no needle. Beer and wine don't get you as drunk as mixed drinks. Is that true? A glass of wine, a bottle of beer, and a shot of vodka, or any other distilled spirit, contain the same amount of alcohol. Drinking alcohol makes you fat. Not true. While alcohol does have calories, studies done on their effects show that there isn't any significant weight gain attributed to it. The main cause of weight gain happens to fall on the lifestyle and the genetics of the person. The United States has the heaviest drinkers in the world. True or false? The United States has the heaviest drinkers in the world. Good morning, free. Is the United States heavy drinkers? Heaviest drinkers in the world. We have a lot of falses here and a couple of trues. Falsers, you're correct. You guys wearing a falsies are correct. In 2011, it's a long time ago, the World Health Organization reported the top 10 alcohol-consuming countries in the world. And all of them were in Europe, with the top 9 being located in Eastern Europe. The Latvias, the Kazakhstans, the Czechoslovakias, the Polands. Alcohol kills brain cells. Alcohol kills brain cells. Not true. Alcohol has no effect on your brain cells, and recently researchers have found that red wine helps the brain and may even help prevent dementia in old age. Some of those studies are being challenged now, though. The red wine is good for you, one glass a day. That's being challenged now. This is a little older material, so I'd be careful with that one. We're not really sure that it's good for you after all. We wanted it to be for a while, but I think we figured out, let's just stay away from it altogether. Yesterday, we were reading a very, very good article, question and answer, with Rhonda DeSantis of the company, founder and cultivator. She was the creator of Solutions. She had a really great interview that we read yesterday, but I mentioned that Solutions also put together a precision dosing guide. And I wanted to take a look at that with you guys today. Okay? How much do you really need for a microdose? That's the start of the article. How much do you really need for a microdose? At Solutions, we believe in precision dosing. Not just for deep psychedelic experiences, but also for the subtle functional levels that support creativity, mood, and connection in everyday life. These mini dose ranges are becoming increasingly popular, yet many people still wonder, how many milligrams define each level? Let's break it down. A micro mini. Subtle mood enhancement. This is the effect profile. Okay? Subtle mood enhancement, mild sensory shifts, an increased sense of relaxation. This is from 1.2 milligrams is considered a micro mini. Then we have a micro social, increased emotional openness, colors brighten, and slight euphoria. That's anywhere between 1 and 4 milligrams. Okay? Then you have your enthusiast. Visual distortions, deeper introspection, and time dilation. That's 4 to 10 milligrams. Journeyer. Intense visuals, ego softening, deep and intense psychological work. That is 10 to 20 milligrams. Hero dose. Ego dissolution, mystical experiences, and a loss of time reality. 20 milligrams plus. Now, here's the interesting part. Since strains have different potencies, we'll break it down by milligrams of psilocybin per strain to keep your dosing accurate. Number 1, penis envy. The psilocybin per milligram, very high. Micro mini dose, take less than the 1.2 originally suggested. Micro social dose is about 4 milligrams, and an enthusiast dose is 6 to 12 milligrams. Tidal wave. Social and creative sweet spot psilocybin. It has a moderate to high psilocybin content, generally in this strain. Micro mini dose, less than 1.2. Micro social dose, do a little less than 4 milligrams. And in the enthusiast dose, notice we're not even going to Journey or Hero. Enthusiast dose, 6 to 12 milligrams. Albino penis envy, sometimes known as ape. Albino penis envy, ape. Psilocybin per milligram, very high. Micro mini dose, less than the 1.2 milligram. Micro social dose, less than the 4 milligram. And enthusiast dose, 6 to 12 milligrams. Number 4, true albino teacher. Some people call it TAT, true albino teacher. Some people call it ghost, because it comes out all white. Psilocybin per milligram, moderate. Micro mini dose, 1.2 milligram. Microsocial dose, 3 to 7 milligrams. An enthusiast dose, 8 to 10 milligrams. Justin will answer that question here in a minute. Okay? Next is Bluey Velvet. We've grown some really good Bluey Velvet here. Had some really, really good crops of Bluey Velvet over the summer. And we're probably going to do that again this coming soon. It grows very well. It's an easy grower. Bluey Velvet. Psilocybin per milligram is rated as moderate to high. Okay? Micro mini dose, you can do less than 1.2 milligrams. For a micro social dose, 2.5 to 4 milligrams. Enthusiast dose, 6 to 10 milligrams. Couple more strains. Okay? The next one is Blue Ghost. It's otherworldly and it's dreamlike in its effects. its psilocybin content is high. Micro mini dose less than 1.2 milligrams. Introspective slight dreamlike sensation. Microsocial dose 4 milligrams. And enthusiast dose 6 to 12 milligrams. The next one is Golden Teacher. The classic and reliable psilocybin. It's considered mild to moderate. Micro mini dose 1.2 milligrams. Microsocial dose 4 milligrams. Enthusiast dose 6 to 12 milligrams. How to choose the right dose for your intentions. By the way, the answer there, of all 7 of those that they mentioned, penis envy is considered the strongest. After that, the next strongest is ape. Makes sense because it's just an albino penis envy. So penis envy, ape. Then we have blue ghost. Then we have blue velvet. Then we have ghost or true albino teacher. Then we have tidal wave. And then we have golden teacher as the least psilocybin full per milligram. How to choose the right dose for your intentions. Now these are after testing. Solutions has come up with this list after much data has gone in. They grow it, they send it to a lab. The lab tests how much psilocybin is in the weight. And that's what they've come up with here. Okay? Justin, I'm sure the cloning, the more you clone, ultimately you're going to have a stronger fruit if you're cloning it from a strong fruit to begin with. Generationally, it will get stronger, but it's going to reach a max point. Here, we'll clone for about 3 generations and then start fresh again. How to choose the right dose for your intentions. Micro mini dosing is best for daily or semi-regular use to enhance focus, mood, and well-being. Many use it as an alternative to stimulants or antidepressants. I'm in that category. Microsocial dosing. Great for deepening relationships, music events, nature walks, or emotional connection without overwhelming effects. Enthusiastic dosing. Ideal for immersive but functional experiences where you want to see and feel the magic but still be in control. That explains that. Let's jump over to something else here that I found. It's going to be very difficult without further testing, and that's why we said starting January, we're going to start being able to say what the psilocybin content is in a single package that we send. We're also sincerely considering homogenizing everything. Homogenizing is just a fancy word of saying mixing. I'm this close to just grinding everything And when I send a package, it'll already be ground. You don't have to think about it. And I do that not because I don't love seeing the fruit in the bag, because I do, I love it. But because I want you to have, as the provider, I want the user to find the safest way to have equal dosing. And so the easiest way to do that is for the provider to send it in a form that's easiest for you to take on a regulated scale. So I'm sincerely thinking about that for next year. People get a little disappointed. Well, I don't see the fruit. It's smarter. And then I don't have to worry about if you have a grinder or what it looks like at your end. Providing from my end, I would, and that's a good one too, Joe G's. I'm sure it would reduce risk. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. I'm just thinking of the user and how to get them appropriately provided for. So that's what we're thinking about doing. We're definitely going to be testing. Going to have to get ourselves a good test. Well, we're going to use the same output Solutions uses. We're already reached out to them about what the protocol is. So that's what we're going to be doing. Alert, alert! You ever had a smoke detector run low on batteries and start going off every time you breathe? Worst thing in the world. Okay? That's what OCD is like. I know a lady, whose husband has OCD, and it's absolutely debilitating. We make fun of things and we make light of things, but OCD can be, depending on where you are on the OCD spectrum, it can be absolutely debilitating. This particular guy had a thing about the house being locked up, and he couldn't leave the driveway without getting out of the car and going checking every lock, every window, everything in the house. They'd get to the stop sign at the end of the street, and he just couldn't help it. Turn around, we gotta go back. I know that one of those doors I didn't check. Turn around and go back. Get another mile down the road, had to go back and check again. The whole time they're on their trip, the guy's on pins and needles because I just know I didn't check. And that's all his brain could function, is worried about is the house locked up. And she would tell me, Pops, I can't even go anywhere with him. We can't do anything together. I can't get him out of the house because he doesn't want to leave the house because he doesn't want his brain to freak out on him. Does anybody here think when we sent him some shrooms and put him on a small protocol, does anybody think that it helped? Does anybody think that it helped him? Does anybody think he went? His wife wrote me a letter with tears because this is the first vacation we've been on in 12 years where my hubby wasn't freaking out. We actually had the most enjoyable vacation I've had in 12 years. Microdosing. Put them on a microdose protocol, 200 milligrams a day, 5 days, 2 off, 5 days, 2 off. He did about 15 microdoses over a period of a little less than 3 weeks. And this lady was crying in her letter to me. Now, you think that you don't feel good about what you're doing when you get a letter like that? You ever heard a smoke detector running? Starts going off every time you breathe. That's what OCD is like. That benign thought you just had, fire. The doorknob you touched, fire. That vague sense that you're doing it wrong, no matter what it is, roaring flames. Despite what many think, OCD is a lot closer to intense anxiety than quirky perfectionism. Let me say that again. I think of it as more like a quirky perfectionism. It's an incredibly high level of intense anxiety. And sadly, about half of patients don't respond to standard treatment. But new research out of Yale suggests psilocybin could silence those false alarms. In the first randomized, placebo-controlled trial of single-dose psilocybin for treatment-resistant OCD, researchers found clinically significant symptom reduction 48 hours after dosing. Here's what they learned from interviewing the participants. Partial mystical experiences. Unlike in depression trials where people often report full ego dissolution, OCD patients kept pumping the brakes when their need for control kicked in. But it still worked. Participants experienced increased cognitive distance from their obsessions and a new ability to approach situations they feared. Therapy shortcut. People reported insights that normally take months of exposure therapy, such as recognizing their compulsions serve no real purpose. We know what you're thinking. Surrender to the experience and trust the process. But give them a break. As the lead researcher notes, OCD patients' resistance to the psychedelic experience reflects a core feature of the disorder, the compulsive need to maintain control. OCD. In fact, we covered another study in July where researchers deliberately chose a gentler 10 milligram dose for that very reason. In this study, for Yale used 17 to 20 milligrams, depending on the body weight. The downside is the effects lasted days to weeks, rather than months to years. So multiple trials are now testing repeated dosings with therapy to integrate and extend the benefits. We would tell them to hurry up, but we're slowly learning not everything is an emergency. OCD. Debilitating. I'm jumping over to the Tao. I'm going to read the second verse of the Tao. That's interesting, Mark. Yeah, that's really interesting. Second verse of the Tao Te Ching. Remember yesterday we discussed there were 81 verses altogether. Under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty, only because there is ugliness. All you know good as good, only because there is evil. Being and non-being produce each other. The difficult is born in the easy. Long is defined by short, and the high by low. Before and after go along with each other. So the sage lives openly with apparent duality and paradoxical unity. The sage can act without effort and teach without words, nurturing things without possessing them. He works, but not for rewards. He competes, but not for results. When the work is done, it is forgotten. That is why it lasts forever. Very quickly, our society is just upside down on the ideas. You heard a lot of linear thinking here. You can't know good without evil. Long is defined by short, high by low. Before and after go along together. These are all some kind of a paradoxical unity. I would argue that in our culture today, we strive and we sell, we advertise. How many millions, billions of dollars are spent in the beauty industry to make us feel beautiful? The skin care, having the right hairdos, looking good, wearing the right clothes, beauty. Think about this for a second, you guys. The only way you can have something, quote unquote, in the beauty category is if you also have something in the ugly category. So every time we think about beauty, especially in our Western mindset, we have a comparison. We have an ugly benchmark. So we're walking around thinking ugly, beautiful, somewhere in between. The concept of something or someone being beautiful is grounded in a belief system that promotes duality and judgment. This way of thinking is prevalent and commonplace for just about everyone in our culture, perhaps even having some value in society. I encourage you to explore the concept of paradoxical unity in the second verse of the Tao Te Ching. By changing your thoughts, you can change your life and truly live the life of blissness. Has it occurred to you that beauty depends on something being identified as ugly? Therefore, the idea of beauty produces the idea of ugliness, and vice versa. Just think of how many concepts in this duality belief system depend on opposites. A person isn't tall unless there's a belief system that includes short. Our idea of life couldn't exist without that of death. Day is the opposite of night. Male is the antithesis of female. What if you instead perceived all as a piece or a glimpse of the perfection of oneness? I think this is what Lao Tzu is suggesting with his description of the sage who lives openly with apparent duality and paradoxical unity. Imagine the perfect oneness coexisting in the apparent duality, where opposites are simply judgments made by human minds in the world of 10,000 things. Human minds do this. There is nothing in the Tao that does it. There is nothing in the path, there's nothing in the way, there's nothing in the nature of our universe and nature that does what the human mind does. Surely the daffodil doesn't think that the daisy is prettier or uglier than it is. And the eagle and the mouse have no sense of the opposites we call life and death. The trees, flowers, and animals know not of ugliness or beauty. They simply are in harmony with the eternal Tao, devoid of judgment. Man, I want to get there. That's where I want to get. I'm not there yet. But I'm working on my judgment. I'm working on not looking at her and going, she's hot, and looking at her and going, she's not. He's smart, he isn't. I gotta get rid of those benchmarks that have been implanted in me by my culture. This is better, this is worse. I want to enjoy them all equally. As the sage lives openly with apparent duality, he synthesizes the origin with the manifestation without forming an opinion about it. I want to get to the point where I'm not forming opinions. Living without judgment and in perfect oneness is what Lao Tzu invites its readers to do. He invites our wisdom to combine perceived opposites and live a unified life. The perfection of the Tao is allowing apparent duality while seeing that unity is the real reality. Life and death, listen to this. This is so hard to grasp, it really is, until you grasp it. Life and death are identical. Virtue and sin are judgments, needing both to identify either. These are the paradoxes of a unified life. This is living with the eternal Tao. Once the dichotomies or pairs of opposites are transcended, or at least seen for what they are, they flow in and out of us like tides. Practice being a living, breathing paradox every moment of your life. The body has physical boundaries. It begins and ends, and it has material substance. Yet it also contains something that defies boundaries, has no substance, and is infinite and formless. You are both the Tao and 10,000 other things simultaneously. Let the contrasting and opposite ideas be within you at the same time. Allow yourself to hold those opposite thoughts without them canceling each other out. Believe strongly in your free will and your ability to influence your surroundings, and yet simultaneously surrender to the energy within you. Being strongly in your free will an ability to influence your surroundings, you will simultaneously be able to surrender to that energy. Know that good and evil are two aspects of a union. In other words, accept the duality of the material world while still remaining in constant contact with the oneness of the eternal. The debilitating necessity to be right and make others wrong will diminish. Live a unified life. Enter the world of oneness with an awareness of the propensity to compartmentalize everything as good or bad, right or wrong. Beautiful or ugly are standards of the physical world, not of the Tao. I want to get away from those, man. I really, really do. I want to get deeper into the Tao that I recognize that there is duality, but I don't have to expend judgment on it. They're both equally valuable. I couldn't have one without the other. Beautiful people are no more valuable than ugly people. Fat people are no less valuable than the gym guy. I've bought into the program of the world if I think differently. Contemplate the insight that duality is a mind game. In other words, people look the way they look. Period. Criticism is not necessary or helpful. See the unfolding of the Tao inside everyone, including yourself, and be at peace with what you observe. Be a good animal and move freely, unencumbered with thoughts about where you should be and how you should be acting. For instance, imagine yourself as an otter, just living in your otterness. You're not good or bad, beautiful or ugly, a hard worker or a slacker. You're simply an otter, moving through the water or on the land freely, peacefully, playfully, and without judgment. When it's time to leave your body, you do so, reclaiming your place in the pure mystery of oneness. This is what Lao Tzu means when he says, when the work is done, it is forgotten. That is why it lasts forever. That's beautiful. When the work is done, it is forgotten. That's why it lasts forever. Step 3, agreement 3, no expectations, no assumptions. When I do the work, boom, I've done the work, it's forgotten. But it'll last forever. In other words, you don't have to leave your body to experience forever. It's possible to know your eternal self even in the embodied condition that you have. When duality and judgment crop up, allow them to be a part of the perfect unity. When other people create dichotomies, you can always know that you can practice the oneness. It reminds me of charity. That's great, Anthony. It reminds me of charity. Never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. If my right hand is slipping somebody $5 bill or $100 or a bag of groceries. My left hand doesn't need to know that. My left hand's just doing its job, working, doing what it's supposed to do. I don't need them both to know and live in the ego of what I've done. If I can do something and the rest of me doesn't even pay attention to it, then what I've done is closing in on purity. When I send a package to somebody here, which by the way you guys have noticed I haven't done recently, and it seems like the last 2 or 3 times I've tried, there hasn't been that great of an interest. Everybody's got what they want or whatever, so I backed off a little bit. But if I send somebody a package, it's the last I ever think of it again. I'll never, it is poof out of my mind, gone. Never think about it again. And yet the work is still being done. Let me put it to you this way again. When the work is done, the package is sent, the gift is given, the help for helping my friend move, taking people to the grocery store that don't have a car, whatever it is that your work is. When the work is done, forget it. Don't crow about it. Don't tell your left hand how great you are. Your right hand did something. It doesn't need to crow to the left hand and say, "Did you see what I did?" You're perverting it. When the work is done, when you've given the grace, when you've forgiven the forgiveness, when you've sent the gift, forget about it. Let it go. Well, he never wrote back and said thank you. And so you sent it for a thank you. So now you got your thank you. What are you going to do? Oh, man, I feel better now. Remember why you do the things that you do. And then forget about them. It's the most beautiful line. When the work is done, it is forgotten. That is why it lasts forever. You want your work to last forever? Forget about it. The universe brings it all back in its correct time and in its correct place. But if you're still talking left hand to right hand, how great you are for what you did, and now we're just waiting for a thank you, we're waiting for somebody to do something equally as nice or more. I mean, after all, I deserve it. You want your gifts, your works to last forever? Then when they're done, forget about them. That's how you make them last forever. That is so profound to me. To one who used to run around looking for praise. The one who would even make stuff up. Be hypocritical. So you could tell me how wonderful I am. A lot of progress in that area over here. I know you guys are progressing too. I know you guys are progressing just as well. 4 things. Be impeccable with your words and your actions. If you're constantly aware of what you're saying and what you're doing, and you're doing it for good and positive reasons out of kindness, you'll never have another problem. All your problems are going to go away. Nothing can stick to you that's coming at you because you're like, I know I did the right thing. I know that I forgot the works that I did. And I'm not holding anybody accountable for choices I made. That's impeccable. Don't take things personal, including yourself. No expectations, no assumptions. They pervert everything we do. We're doing because the otter does. The otter at no point expected the world to give him anything for being a otter. He just ottered around. For you guys, just Catzilla around. Just Sarah Bear around. Just Joe D's around. We'll know who you are. Because your works will never be forgotten. And number 4, do your best. You guys, I'm going to scroll you out. Have a great day. I have had a good one. Great one, great one. This is service right here. My left hand's doing something this morning, 9 till 10:15. I do not go out and brag about it. I do not go out and tell people, look at what I did this morning. My work is done and I forget about it. And yet, look at what our harvests look like. Look at what our harvests look like. And I don't mean mine, I mean our. Part of the oneness. Have a great day, you guys. Get your name and number and address in to Niffy, please. Let's have a really big group show up for Secret Santa. Let's do a lot of it, fun, sending a gift to one person, and it doesn't even need to cost you anything more than the shipping fee. And then finally, let me offer this. If you can't afford it, and that's completely reasonable, and there is no judgment. I can't even afford a $10 gift, and then the $5 to ship it. I'm not going to be able to make that happen. But I sure would like a Christmas present. Get your name into Niffy and tell her that you're on the special list. Or, I don't want to call it a special list. Put her on the non-sending but a receiving list. And I will make sure that you'll get something. So just get your name and address over there. If you're not going to be able to give something to, just let Niffy know. And there's no judgment. And the only one that'll ever know is her. Okay? So don't even worry about it. But I want to be able to make sure that everybody gets something for Christmas, even if they can't send something. Okay? So I'll figure that part out at this end. And Nippy's not going to tell. All right? And this is very, very serious. Don't not participate because you think you can't. You're participating just by sending her your name and address, and a gift will come from Secret Santa flying out of the sky right at you. Okay? It might be fruitcake. Be careful. You might get a fruitcake. Okay. We'll talk more about that the rest of the week. Headbuster HB, thank you for being here. Mr. Phillips and Taylor. And Daniel and Mr. Marmars. and Cleany, and Joe D's. I love what you're saying, Joe. Trenty the Trenty Trenterson, Sarah Bear, there she is. Bubblegum Kello, Derek Anderson, Sarah Bear, and Anthony Hunt. Jesus Christ in Australia. Daniel and Marky Z and Dawn. Vaggie. Time does fly, doesn't it? Jesus Christ in Australia. Mello. I love Mello. Emily and Daniel, Anthony, Forley, Derek, HB, Nippy. Nippy, thanks for doing it for us. Dawn and Emily and Herbie and Mr. Marmars. And Jesus Christ in Australia. Sammy P. Daniel, Derek, Vaggie, Anthony Hunt, Nippy and Mr. Marmars and Kitty Godzilla. Sarah Bear, hugging her. Cleany. Sue Little. Joe, Cyber, Joe Lee. Good morning, Joe Lee. Good morning, Joe Lee. HP, you got a show tonight at 9 p.m. Put it on the IG. HP, put on the IG chat a link or something so I can go over there and find you guys. Alright? I want to see that. If you guys don't know how to get a hold of Niffer, write to me and I'll give you Niffer's email address. Okay? Four Leaf and Laura, have a divine day. Derek Anderson, Nippy, Mello, Daniel and Jesus Christ and Herbie Von Werby Kebab, Nippy and Herbs and Pidgey Page. I'm glad you're here, Nippy. You're always helpful. Joe D's. Kim, have a fleeky day. International Kindness Ambassador. Excuse me. Mike Butterball. Jesus Anthony Hunt and Derek Anderson. Email Pops and I'll get you the contact for getting a hold of Nippy to get your name on the list. Everyone should be on the list. Even if you can't send something, you can certainly receive something. So get your name over there. And if you can't send something, just let her know. We'll put you in a little bit different section that makes sure that you're going to get a toy from the dot. Okay? Go have a wonderful day. I'm going to go over here and cough a little bit more. Okay? Have a beautiful day, Pops. Peace, love, kindness, humility. Live in the oneness. Live in the oneness. Pops out.